Most people would assume that in the 4th century there was little to no technology in existence. The Chinese are the founders of many inventions that we use today. Without what seems like these very simple inventions, our daily life would be altered greatly.
The Chinese created dozens of inventions that are today mainly used in agricultural science and military use.
Not only were the Chinese the first to introduce a currency, but they were also the first to create a paper currency as well. The earliest documentation of this event is around 800 BC. A currency is used in almost all countries to this day. China was the first nation who invented paper. The earliest form of paper first appeared in the Western Han Dynasty around 206 BC, but the paper was generally very thick, coarse, and uneven in their texture, and was made from pounded and disintegrated hemp fibers. The paper traces back to the early Western Han Dynasty. Starting around the 6th century BC, the Chinese began row cropping, which allowed the crops to grow faster and larger, take out wind destruction, and give the crops more room to grow.
Around the 3rd century BC, China invented the moldboard plow for tilling farmland. The wing-shaped iron turns up soil more easily and efficiently. These plows later revolutionized agriculture in the West.
Ancient Chinese quickly learned that you could carry 200 or more pounds of weight in just a simple box with an axle on it, or as we know it, the wheelbarrow. Because of the wheelbarrow, the Chinese building process increased dramatically. The wheelbarrow is thought to have emerged around 1st century BC. Gunpowder was not first designed for war use, but as exile for immortality. Gunpowder made wars less gruesome and painful. Instead of dying by being stabbed by hand-to-hand combat, a shot would take its toll immediately. Although fireworks do not seem like the most important invention, the ancient Chinese originally created fireworks for entertainment and later used them to scare off enemy invaders at times of war. In China, the crossbow revolutionized warfare. Although outdated, the crossbow is one of the most high-tech inventions the world has ever seen. Chinese literary records place the invention of the crossbow in China during the Warring States period in the kingdom of Chu at around 500 BCE. The rudder was first discovered by the Chinese and allowed boats to turn more freely. Before rudders, oars were relied on to turn a boat that weighed massive amounts. The compass is one of the most famous Chinese inventions. It was made of lodestone, which was commonly used in Chinese geomancy and fortune-telling. First invented during the Qin dynasty, the use of the compass was recorded in several Chinese texts in the 4th century.
Porcelain, which is a highly refined form of pottery making, started during the Ying and Shang dynasties.
The Chinese were the earliest people to keep systematic records of their observations of the heavens. Sightings and records date back for over 40 centuries. They observed sunspots, meteorites, eclipses, and comets, which they called guest stars. They also observed rare events like splitting of comets and meteorite showers. They also created star maps, which developed highly sophisticated navigational systems based off the stars. The Chinese first made silk around 2700 BC. The legend is that Empress Xiling Qi discovered silk when a silkworm moth cocoon fell from a mulberry tree in her tea. Silk was considered China's most valuable trade commodity, resulting in the famous Silk Road trading route. The Chinese developed the world's first metal stirrups and were created in as early as the 4th century BC. Prior to stirrups, one would hold onto the mane of the horse.